culture. So, I don't know, is that answering your question? It is everywhere.
It does. Because that is so like, that's perfect. And these are some of the questions that I had to come up on my own. And I used them for my discussion questions because they were worth being part of our discussion. So I felt like they were worth adding to my interview, if that makes sense.
Good question, then.
Yeah.
Good questions to make you think.
Yes,
like, how
absolutely.
Does this affect you every day?
Yes, because I think that's why she put those types of questions, because these are everyday questions. And so it could go across the board. It's broad. There's no right or wrong answer. You know what I mean?
I
It's
like
just,
that.
yeah, it's like, this is my opinion, this is what I feel about it. And based on how everything you just said about the different cultures that are represented here, it's just broad. And until we discuss it, then we're not going to understand each other, cultural background, diversity, and all of that is important. And that's why the world is the way it is today, because no one has sat down and had a discussion. You know, they just been going on like life as usual, and I don't like you and you don't like me, so I'm gonna kill you before you kill me. It's sad, but I digress.
That's okay, you're right on top.
And I'm like, let me stay on topic.
Okay.
Okay, name a time when you felt uncomfortable as it related to race.
All the time. Let me think of an example. There's just so many. The most emotional ones for me are the ones that I experienced. That was me, because people don't think that little Caucasian Americans would ever know what that's about. So when I was in middle school, which is a painful time anyway, every time I would get on the bus, it seemed like all the African American people on my bus, it seemed to me, just had a chip on their shoulder. They get on that bus and they'd say, "You get up and move or I'm going to pound you." And it was my first experience with any kind of racism, because I didn't feel like my parents didn't raise me like that. I didn't see any color differences. I didn't get it. And it was kind of a rude awakening. I was like, whoa, they're picking on me because I'm white. Oh no. And I felt kind of bullied on the bus every day. And it was my first like eye-opening experience with, because I don't think I'd ever seen that before at all. And I think I noticed it because it was directed at me. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have noticed. So.
Now this is the flip side. As a assistant director here, right? You are the assistant. Do you?
Okay.
Do you ever see anything like that happening here for us race? And I know this little school have a lot of diversity, culture, background people here, but do you ever see any race, uncomfortable race issues?
When I see it, it's not what you would think of. Like, we always think about the black and the white. We try to think that way. What I see is anybody from a different culture that's not American. So the people that have come here from another country, a lot of times when they don't like something, their first reaction that I notice is to say, "It's because I'm from another country and I'm not American." So we get a lot of that.
Instead of saying, "Oh, it's because I'm black," no, it's because I'm from another country.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see that from people that are American, no matter what color of their skin, but I see it here from people that have emigrated here and then or immigrated, whatever word it is, and then they kind of go, "Oh, well, it's because I'm from Ireland or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm being picked on."
It's immigrating.
And they say that a lot.
All right, this question, in your classroom, what would you address about gender if you were still in a classroom? Because I know since you're the assistant that you don't really have to go into the classroom a lot, unless to relieve for like a 15-minute break. But what would you address about gender, and if you had to make a lesson plan and you wanted to make it part of your curriculum, how would you, like sometimes families are not made up the way they used to be, like traditional anymore. So what part of that would you address in your classroom?
like I said before, I would only address what's in my classroom, and we've had all kind of diversity. I wouldn't come into a classroom and bring a lesson about something that the kids aren't dealing with at all. The parents get upset over nothing, but if it is part of our classroom, whatever it is, we all have to deal with it. We have to live with it. It's our experience. So I'm trying to think, like, we have children, they're boys, and they come in and they want to wear the pink dress and twirl around. So it's not the children at this stage, it's the parents. Because the parents come in and they get upset. They say, I came to pick up my son and he was twirling around in a pink dress. And that's not okay. And so it's hard for me to do a lesson plan for children because they just automatically do those things and it's okay. The lesson plan would be how to educate the adults to accept that it's just fun to twirl in a skirt. It doesn't mean anything. It's just fun. That's all that they do. They want to twirl in a skirt.
It's creativity. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because at this age, they don't have a whole lot of bias. We don't see a lot of that. I don't notice it in the kids.
That's awesome. My last and final question. What do you think is your responsibility to your young students concerning the diversity of wealth, education, jobs, and equalities? And you touched on it a little bit, but I need you to address jobs that diversity and wealth, education, inequalities concerning all of those things. That how would you address those things? What do you think your responsibility is to address those things? Inequality in jobs, wealth.
In general, or at little school, or
I think for this assignment, I think it would be in general, and I understand that it's kind of hard to address it with kids this age because they don't really understand. You know, you can't really talk to them or what do you plan to be when you grow up? Because you may qualify for this job and you may need to pursue this job, or, you know, right now, what's your wealth status? You know what I mean? So I would think that that's a good question for in general.
it is. Like you said, it is everywhere, and you have to kind of address some of it with the political system.
Yeah.
You kind of have to. I don't know how to fix it. It does seem kind of broken. Like everywhere you look, there's a lot of bias. So
Yeah.
what's my responsibility? How do I fix that? I mean, part of our existence here at Little School is to promote anti-bias curriculum, and in doing that, we're hopefully trying to raise up a generation of people who hold on to that anti-bias. But you know, they leave us when they're 5 and they move on. So I can only do my little part because I get overwhelmed thinking about the whole big world and how it's messed up. So I try really hard to, like I said, recognize my own bias and try not let it affect me and how I see other people. I try really hard to be an example of treating everybody the same or with equity. We're working now on trying to get better pay for our teachers because they're not paid well. I don't know how that fits into anti-bias. It's a whole cultural bias against the profession. And early childhood is not respected. So I guess I can work within my field to try to bring respect and better pay to teachers. And I don't know, that's a really broad question, but
It is
there's
okay,
some
you
thought.
did good. I really do appreciate this time. Thank you, Ms. Havidos, Assistant Director at Santa Fe Little School.